Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a great week so far. So what I'm going to be doing is a tarot card reading for the week of October 9th through the 15th. And for those of you who are new here, which is everyone at the moment, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never try to force a reading on a situation if it doesn't resonate. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Oops. Oh, we got jumpers already. Virgos, this is going to be exciting. But I've cleansed your space. The gems are here. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner come on hands. The upper left and upper right hand corner is going to be the some possible future outcomes. The bottom left is going to be kind of like the mental basis of the situation, or just kind of where your head's at, or even some new perspectives to consider. You know, that one's a pretty broad one. I'm still playing around with that corner. And then on the bottom right is going to be how your future self is, or not your future self, higher self, however you refer to them. This is how they're playing behind the scenes. So, and if you're curious, I'm using the Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. Super cool here. I'll make sure to show you some of the imagery on here. It's pretty awesome. So with that being said, Virgo, let's get into this here. Ooh, interesting, Virgo. Let's see what you got. Dun, dun. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Interesting, Virgo. Okay, last bit over here. Swords. Bam and bam. Interesting. Alrighty, Virgo. Let's get everything all nice and neat here, then we'll get into that reading. See what's going on for Virgo this week. Okay. Nice. Okay. So for the nature of your problem here, you have the Ace of Wands. And the cards that... here we go. And the cards that came with it are the Empress and the Two of Swords. So with the Ace of Wands, what I'm getting with that energy here is the Ace of Wands, I like to look at it as, that's kind of like your full steam ahead. This is like, the aces I like to think of either as something big or something like big is coming, and with the wands it has to do with big energy. So I think maybe you're, I don't know, you got, looks like you're gearing up for something this week. Something pretty, that you're getting ready to channel a lot of energy into. But with this Ace of Wands, it could either be that explosive. I like to look at it either as like my verification card. Like if I'm ever unsure, I remember I was coming across this decision with the job, and I was just like, you know what, higher self, what do you think about this? And it's like Ace of Swords, go through with it. It's like, okay. and I didn't doubt it. I've not regretted it. But the Ace of Swords, or the aces in general, could also be about like planting a seed. So it could be something that, if it's not for something right this moment, I think that this is, and I'm actually I'm feeling that more with these combination of cards than just like a going force. But I feel like they can act as seeds. You know, so it's like you're planting something. You know, you're conserving your energy. You know, this when it finally comes to fruition, man, it's going to be explosive, the energy that is coming. And I think in the meantime, with that, while you're planting your seed, that was a little suggestive. You know what I mean. Whether that be in business, love, take it as it resonates. But with here, I think while you're doing that, the Empress is popping up here. The Empress, for me, she is my self-care card. You know, I mean, a lot of the cards can indicate that, but I feel like she really, she's focused on beauty here. She's about beauty, love, aesthetics. That's what I get with the Empress. You know, she's getting, but it's really good energy. I feel like it can be of Emperor value, but she's the one, you know, where the Emperor, I feel like he's in his in his natural state when he's, flexing his authority, in his power. She is more, she's in her beauty here. She's like, she's taking care of herself, and now everyone's come to bask in her excellence. That's what I get with the Empress energy here. And I feel like that's kind of appropriate with this two of swords here. I feel like maybe you're coming to, this might be asking you, to kind of you might have had like a situation coming up, and this is like getting to peace after some, not necessarily a trying time, but maybe after some trials, or maybe some issues coming up. I feel like this is a card of everything is going to get in balance. This is Libra's card here, and Libras are all about balance. And I feel like with you, Virgo, and this is appropriate too. With Virgo, I think with the Empress here, I feel like Virgos, they're about making things pure. It's the Virgin. So, and I feel like making things pure in the sense of like whatever you're going about it to really. I feel like here this is asking you with this Ace of Wands as your nature of your problem. I feel like this is telling you right now to focus on yourself, to really kind of nurture everything that's leading up to this Ace of Wands. In the meantime, sometimes we're just like so go 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 go. The wands signify that. They're about like this is just like it's game time. But every now and again, and especially with these aces, sometimes I really feel like this is the time to just like plan it and nurture yourself. Because what's going to come out of that is going to be a lot better than if I feel like you just rushed it and went at, just went for something. I'm getting intuitively I'm getting take your time and use that wisely. Really kind of invest in this, in you, really. Invest this. This is the time to really kind of get your energy back in line and really build it up, so that you can express yourself in love, and go about stuff with that Empress energy, because it's very beautiful energy. I like the Empress here, and this is Venus energy. So again, that's doubling down, beauty, aesthetics, all that good stuff. So I feel like with the nature of your problem, that's what intuitively I'm getting over here. Not too bad, not too bad. Just like Capricorn had a pretty cool one too. So I feel like you were kind of rivaling Capricorn as far as the nature of your problem. So I think that's pretty dope. In terms of some future stuff, let's start with I'm feeling more on the right hand side, since this is asking you to do self care. Let me grab these cards real quick. Fingers don't always like to work. There we go. So with on the right hand side, I pulled, you're chilling. You pull, again, you're still chilling. We have the Two of Disc, the Hanged Man, oops, get some of this off there, and the Moon. So, and really I could kind of hold, let me not put these down because I'm going to end up talking about both of them in the same thing. So with the two, let's start with the Two of Disc here. The Two of Disc, I feel like this is a card of change. This is, and change in the sense that it's about that constant change, that ebbing and flowing. I feel like the Two of Wands, or excuse me, Two of Disc is about getting comfortable with that continuous, we're in the high, we're in the high, open, now we're getting a little low, open, then we're in between, we're balanced, and now I feel like this is trying to find that harmony. That's what the Two of Disc here is reminding me of. Disc can also be with finances. Maybe you're trying to get, maybe finances have been kind of weighing on your mind. Maybe you're thinking about how to switch up maybe spending your finances. But mainly here, I'm feeling more of a change. I feel like this is more, maybe you've been too focused on finance and you haven't been focusing on self-care. I'm just using that because, work is bad. Not bad, but, work is work, and sometimes I want to work on my self-care. So I feel like it's like finding that balance between the two. Maybe you've been focusing too much in one area, and it's time to get back to that continuous flow. And I feel like it's here it's getting to the point where I feel like with the Hangman, it's usually redemption after sacrifice, or I like to think of it as that, and as calling for you to try to do a different approach. He's he's gotten to the point where it's like, life is, he's been ignoring the universe. That's kind of what I like to think about. The higher self has been trying to get your attention, take a break, do this, or whatever it's trying to get you right on the right track. And, you've just been working through, powering through, oh, I got this, it's fine, like, I'm strong, I'm strong, I got this. And you do, Virgo. But sometimes, we spread ourselves too thin. And I feel like this is what happens when you spread yourself too thin. You end up in a hangman moment. It's at some point something has to give. That you've been going at something the same way, run yourself ragged, and now this is kind of like the universe saying, like, all right, we need to stop for a second. It's time to reassess what's going on, so that the sacrifices don't. Because I feel like with the hangman, in a sacrifice, it doesn't have to be anything large. I feel like sacrifice can be kind of a scary word, but it's just maybe getting rid of something that's not serving you any more purpose. This is what I'm getting with the hangman here. And I think that it's, this is calling upon that change and stuff. And this is kind of nicely, because I feel like maybe what you're struggling with is, this is all, this is a cool lineup here. This is all, I'm surprised the death card isn't in here, but this is all about, like, kind of, I'm getting like, ooh, let's move that forward a little, all about change here. With this moon, the moon represents illusions, deceptions, voluntary change, and I feel like here, maybe you've been deceiving yourself, as far as like, oh, I can, like, as long as I power through and do this thing, I don't need to focus on this. I don't need to focus on this self-care and things. Like, I got my hair cut, I blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I feel like those things, are you even finding joy in those things? I know sometimes when I go for a haircut, it's like, if I got to wait 10, 20 minutes after my time, it's just like, ugh, what am I waiting for? But I'm waiting to make myself feel better. So sometimes it's like, are you even, are you even like telling yourself? I feel like this is like, these are the types of things we tell ourselves. It's like, hold on, let me get my words together, because that was good. There's a point in there. So what I'm getting with this moon is, these things that you tell yourself as far as like, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. But if you're still getting to this hangman moment, then maybe it's time to switch things up a little bit. This is, involuntarily, turn this moon card. Let me grab this again. Turn this, being an illusion, into a change, something that you want to walk through. The moon invites us to go through these gates. The universe, if life were that easy, if everything just fell out of the sky, then what would be the point? And I feel like this is kind of saying, like, sure, there are these two guards here, but this is just a test. Like, if you go in with confidence, those guys aren't going to bother you. And I feel like this is really giving me, I feel like this is let's move that over a little bit. There we go. This, I feel like, is the kindest way to say, this is the kindest way to not have a tower, a tower moment, a death card. I feel like this is a very soft kind of transformation. This is going to be, I like where this is going, Virgo. So I feel like this is something, I think it's time to get some new perspectives, at least for some of you, some new perspectives to embrace that change, so that you don't have to give so much, that you don't feel like, it's always, you feel like, it's just been take from you, and no one's giving you anything. You put out so much, but you're not getting back. So, and I think that once you start putting stuff in you, taking the time and putting that energy and focus that in you, then I think you're going to find that peace. And I don't know if I said that the first time, but I actually like that a little bit better. Planting that, focusing that energy on yourself. You're the Empress here. Focus, in this scenario, you focus that energy on yourself, and you're going to find that balance here. Yeah, that's not bad, Virgo. That's pretty cool. For others, some might resonate with here on the left-hand side. I have that's a verifying, which was left. You have the Eight of Cups here, the Sun, and the Princess of Swords. So with the Eight of Cups here, the Eight of Cups to me is a card of, it has indolence down here, and I feel like it can be interpreted a number of ways. it can be, um, are you what are you neglecting in your aspect, in your life? This should be, why aren't these cups all full? You got a couple cups here, these, but this, it's really sad. You got these, what are these lilies doing? They haven't, looks like they haven't seen sun in weeks. And they probably haven't. These storm clouds are awfully dark. And, they're sort of like half-assed poured in there, but there's no real kind of drive. There's that the motivation, I feel like, is gone. And I feel like if you you have all this abundance sitting here, but if you don't do anything with it, then it's just gonna sit there looking pretty. You can admire. It's like putting this. You get this. Let's say. I'm trying to think of something that you would put on display. You're putting something on display. X. We're going to call it X for this analogy. You're putting something on display, and it would do so much good things. Like, it would do such cool stuff. This X thing. It can clean your house. It'll walk your dog. Oh hell, I want one of those things. It'll do your laundry. Definitely want one of those things. But you just put it on the shelf, and you're just sitting like, oh, that's a cool idea, but I'll get back to it, or like I'll just let it just kind of sit up there, and hopefully you're kind of getting where I'm going with this. But I feel like this is, what are you sitting on? What's got you dragging your feet? You got the I don't know the son of Fan, but this is one of Pisces' card. Pisces. I feel like there's an illusion here. There's something here that's like, like, I could do this, but I think I'm gonna, you're not channeling your energy properly, and you're getting this Eight of Cups when you should be getting this Sun here. I feel like it's once you address this Eight of Cups, whatever you've been either dragging your feet on or not been, whatever that is, I think that once you start doing that, you're gonna find your happiness. Because look at this, the sun is a beautiful card. It's happiness, triumph. Who doesn't love the sun? It's a great card, and I think that this is with this with the Princess of Swords here. I feel like this card is reminding you not to be. She gives me she's very intelligent, but she can be she gives me very destructive kind of vibes. You got her tower. She's got this tower here that's on fire. There's a lot of commotion going on in here, but it's just her. And I feel like it's, she has a very kind of reckless sort of mindset. She's about I feel like she's just like, you're fighting this enemy that you're fighting is yourself, in a sense. Like, she's not, like, who are you fighting, girl? Like, you set your house on fire. You're the one that got all mad. She's an interesting card. She's the earthy part of air. So she's the swords are air energy, and the princesses are earth. So that kind of contradictory energy, and you're an earth sign. So it's like, when if things don't feel, this might be too, she's pretty hypercritical, or not hypercritical, but she's just like, she's cunning. She's an interesting character. She's got very destructive logic. That's what I'm trying to get at. She's very, just very kind of self-destructive energy. Kind of revengeful. Ooh, someone should turn off their phone. Unprofessional. There we go. So, and see, you know what? No, that was a message for you. You know what? I'm going to take that as the universe agreed with me. This is saying that stop being self-destructive. This is, whatever that logic is that's getting away of this sun, that's getting away here, stop that. Plain simple. Stop that. I hope that makes sense. The Princess of Swords, she's a complex character, but so are you, Virgo. And I say that in a good way. This is, it's going to be, I feel like your problem, or, the nature of your problems, it really is focusing. It's time to go within. This is time for introspection. I've told a good couple of signs that it's time for some self-care. We're getting upon the end of the year here. We're in that last kind of quarter. This is the time, really sort of get your ducks in a row, get everything together, to start off that new year right. Um, but yeah, let's move on from there. Yeah, I kind of like where this future is. Hopefully that resonates with you. So kind of where your mental state is at, we have the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. All right. Huh, and this is, I like that. Okay, so big, yeah, you have a lot of wands here, Virgo. Yeah, we're focusing on our energy this week. With the with the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands could be a number of things. Either something's coming in fast. I don't know. I feel like that maybe there's just a lot happening with you this week. Sometimes I feel like with the Eight of Swords, it's you got this rainbow here. I feel like everything's fine, but it feels like you're being pulled in like a bunch of different directions. This is sometimes the Eight of Wands can be the coming of good news. It's like quick things are coming in quickly. But sometimes I feel like that can be, if you're not prepared for it, that can be it can be overwhelming. And I think that's what I'm getting with this. What I'm kind of feeling with this Ten of Wands here. I feel like you're kind of getting at this point where, because this is fire in its most kind of destructive aspect. This is kind of, this card is about like oppression, detached from spiritual sources. Maybe you haven't been feeding yourself spiritually. Maybe it's time to do some meditation. Maybe, again, I feel like this is another self-care moment where it's kind of asking you to not be in this kind of this princess of, I tell you, I've been using all these court cards as verbs, not to get out of that destructive logic, that mindset, that princess of swords, because I feel like that is getting in the way of, again, it's getting in the way of your son. So for some of you, and it's interfering with that change. And I think with the Queen of Wands here, this is perfect that she's here with your mental state. I feel like you're trying to, if this is the case, if let's say there's a lot of energy coming in fast or something like that, and you're not really quite sure what to do with all that, the Queen of Wands is perfect for that. That's exactly what she is about. She's about being calm in all of this. You see here, you got all this fire down here. She's not concerned. She's got she's got a pet cheetah. It's her pet cheetah, probably her familiar. Not concerned. The cheetah's not concerned. She's still not bothered. She is the calm. She's the watery part of fire. And you would think with contradictory elements like that she would be a hot mess. But she's not. She is, you see, she's sitting on her throne. Her crown is radiating. She's got her scepter. Shit's Gucci. And she's not, she's about the powers of attraction. She's about adaptability. She's working her way through that flames. So I feel like this is asking you to, I think the mental state of your issue is to try to figure out how to get that calm. How to quiet this Ten of Wands. Because I'm almost in this. The Eight of Wands isn't normally anxious energy, but that's what I'm kind of getting with that intuitive. I feel like it's like really high velocity. But it could also mean, too, let me put it in a different kind of spin on it. It could also be, too, that you're kind of quickly coming to some goals, maybe. But you're just, like, right now you might be stuck in a Ten of Wands thing. This is very oppressive energy. So something's stifling that energy. But I feel like once you start Queen of Wandsing it, and I don't know if I mentioned the queens, you don't have any princes, but the queens can represent people as well. So you might be, maybe this is a person that you look up to to kind of help you stay calm. Maybe this is your grounding source, But I would challenge you to be your own grounding force. That's not to say that, we don't necessarily need anyone in our lives, but I think that it is good to be able to have that ability to cope in these sort of times, especially with going through things of transformation. Transformation can be, depending on how you go at it, it can be uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be. So I feel like with here, this is where your mental state at. Maybe some perspective to consider is just maybe it's time to either learn to rely on yourself to kind of get help you kind of get through that energy, or if you've gotten that down, learn to lean on others. Share the love. Don't suffer in silence. Share the love, but like share what's on your mind. Because sometimes it's just simple. As simple as just talking it out. Everything can seem so impossible, but then when in the head it's abstract. But once you kind of put it out there, and this could be too, it might benefit you to start writing down some of these feelings too, because I feel like once you make it tangible, then you can then it's like you can tackle it. You can tackle the issue. So that's kind of where I'm getting with the mental state at. That's good stuff, and I feel like this is these when you got three wands here, so it's like I really. It's gonna be all right, Virgo. It is. I think that you right now. The nature of your problem is really your solution. Self-care. You Empress through this stuff, you gonna come out Queen of Wands. I mean, you got this for sure. Okay, let's move on. I think I've touched on that pretty well. I think I got everything out of that. Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say? Okay, we're moving on. So, with where your higher self is coming into the picture, you have the. Oh, is that right set up for you? Yep. Okay, you have the Three of Wands, the Queen of Disc, and the Knight of Disc. So this is pretty neat too. So. With what your higher self is kind of saying, I feel like with the Three of Wands, oh, let me show you. I'm here sitting there talking about it. The Three of Wands is about kind of like success after struggle, establishing strength, figuring out what what do you hold virtuous, where do you want to channel that energy. I also like to think of it too as it's like a realization that there is hope. Sometimes when you get stuck in something, it's hard to see the end. See the finish line until you're out of it, and then it's like, oh wow, okay. And then you see what kind of growth you've gotten from it. I feel like that's what this Three of Wands is. This is just like, it's gonna be some tough. It's gonna be a challenge. But if you keep what Virgos try to do, try to bring purity into what you do. Be virtuous. What you hold virtuous. I feel like that's going to you channel your energy there. I'm gonna harp on this Empress until I'm harp on the Empress. Self-care. That was a little aggressive. Self-care. I didn't want to disturb you during your stream time. With the Queen of Disc here. I feel like this is, again, with the disc, they can represent, again, I don't know if I said the first time, the disc can represent business matters and whatnot, and you have the Queen and the King and Queen of Disc for your future, from your future or higher self. And what I get with the Queen of Wands, Queen of Disc is, this is, you can honestly, you can kind of look at this, if we're going to keep on that self-care train, which I think I am going to ride that to the end. She's looking at this field. She's not thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with all this? She's like, wow, look at all this land. I can't wait to do. I'm going to plant so much shit. It's going to be unreal. It's going to be a cornucopia is what she's planning on bringing in here. She's Queen of Disc is about raining abundance. She's very she's a great planner. I feel like she's let me bring him up here too. I feel like the queen here, she's a great planner. She's about she gives me like investment vibes, kind of really thinking about how you're going to cultivate your land. And I feel like your land being, in this instance, being you. How are you going to nurture this into yourself, into this beautiful field, so that everyone wants to come and share the joy in that, so that you can get to this Knight of Disc energy. The Knight of Disc is... and I feel like, the knights, depending on the directions that they're facing towards the nature of the problem, it's either the coming or going away of an energy. And I like to think with this here, and I don't like to think as things going away per se. I like to think of it as when the knight's facing away from you, it's that you're ready to go out and take that energy and go forward. Because the knight of disc here, he's the boss. You know, he's the boss in the sense like everything is where it should be. He runs a tight ship, is what I'm trying to get at, and I feel like that's where this is, I feel like he's asking you to tend to your field, how you would go about, think about something you're passionate about, and then be that passionate about yourself and really learn to invest in that. Because even his, I don't know if you can see, even his horse is growing in, it's like his legs are like a part of the ground. It doesn't look like a separate. He's of the knights, he's the only one that's staying, he's like standing still. So this is kind of nice too. When I was talking about meditation, this might be just the kind of time to just take time and reflect, bask, figure out how you're going to how you're going to achieve that Queen of Disc energy so that you can bask in this Knight of Disc energy. He's got this so that you're radiating again. I don't know if you can see his shield is beaming. This is amber waves of grain. This guy. And, it can. And, sometimes that doesn't seem. It's not. Having your ducks in a row and all this stuff. It's not always sold as sexy. But I find stability quite sexy. So I think with this where your future self is trying to get at is, this is. Once you've taken that time and really invest in yourself and really I think it's about time we can transition back. I'm getting with both the disc being here, the knight and the queen. This is just and the Three of Wands. After you've taken that time to do your self-care, figuring out how you're going to go and share that abundance. And I think you're going to be more. You're going to be pleased with what's coming, with what comes out, more than I think you even realize. That's at least what I'm getting with this bottom right corner over here. So super nice, Virgo. I think this was a good reading. I hope something resonated with you. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and to get a clearer picture of all this, because you're more than just a Virgo. Check your moon, check your rising, and I challenge you to check your Mercury this week, because I'm getting ready to move on to, I'm calling this Celestial News Weekly with Justin. It's kind of like what I'm going to do at the tail end of each reading, just kind of talk about what's going on in space, and how the planets and whatnots are affecting you. So I'm recording this being released on this for the 9th. So yesterday, Pluto went direct. So this is kind of a good time to, while you're doing all that self-care and meditation and whatnot, good time to kind of bring some truths to light. Maybe things that you've been neglecting to deal with. This might be that time to bring that out, to address that. Don't let things fester. And then today is a full moon in Aries. So this is a good time to, This is a good time to go out and, either start a project, plant that. I say, regardless of whether you're just starting something or you've been working on something and you're getting ready to see how it grows, plant something. Get whatever, just something that I feel like it's going to bring you happiness, not something that you have to do per se, something that you want to do, because then I feel like once you start doing things that bring you joy, you get into this Empress energy here, that kind of energy that permeates in a way that it's so nice, it's so beautiful. And next, we have let's see, that was today, on the 9th. And then the 10th, tomorrow, Mercury goes into Libra. And that's a perfect time, too, for if you have, Mercury's about communication and Libra's about balance. So this is a good time for reconciliation if you've had any kind of, if you've had a tiff with someone or whatnot. we can go ahead and sweep that under the rug, or address it and maybe fix some things. But this is a good time. Conversation is balanced. After going through Mercury retrograde, this is like now is kind of the time to, maybe if you've gotten any sort of disagreements during that time, this might be the time to salvage some of those things. Last little bit, retrogrades, while we're on the subject of retrogrades. Jupiter's in retrograde until the 23rd of November. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, is the 9th and 12th house, and represents philosophy and expansion of consciousness. So this is a good time to I'm just going to leave her up here. This is a good time to, go within, to really, to kind of learn yourself on this is time for some philosophical growth, and to really kind of get to know yourself on a personal level. Saturn. I don't think I need to hold you up here for Saturn. Let's put you down for a second. Saturn. Saturn is in retrograde until October 22nd. So it rules Capricorn and Aquarius. That is the 10th and 11th house. And Saturn is involved with like time, karma, responsibilities, wisdom. It's kind of like that parent that how I've been telling Saturn is like, your parents go out for the weekend, you throw a wild party, and then they come back unannounced because you thought, oh, I at least have a week to clean all this mess up. You got people passed out everywhere, and they're like, yo, what is this? Saturn's kind of like, Saturn's the adult, and we all know how sometimes we need an adult, and other times, like, go back on your vacation. But Saturn in retrograde is about kind of slowing things down and kind of reevaluation our life and like our karma. What have we been manifesting? What have we been putting out there? Being mindful in what you're saying, and maybe if you're getting caught in some circumstances where you find yourself like, gosh, how did I end up here again? Well, how did you end up here again? That's what Saturn retrograde is asking us, I feel like. Two more, I promise. We're almost there. I didn't mean to go this long, Virgo. I just love talking to you. Uranus is rules the 11th house, and it's I don't know if I told you when it ends for Saturn. It ends the 22nd if I didn't mention that. Is it the 22nd? Let me check my notes. Yes, it is the 22nd. Uranus retrograde ends the 22nd of January, so you can just kind of sit tight on that. And really, that's not a bad thing, because Uranus is very Uranus is about surprises. Take that what you mean. Sometimes the surprises are great. Other times you're like, what is this? And another analogy what I like to use for Uranus is, you're at a dinner table, you got this whole spread, and Uranus is like, no, I don't like any of this, flips the table. During retrograde, this is kind of the time for, or during retrograde now, it's just kind of like, it's pulling the tablecloth slowly. It's giving you some time to, okay, instead of me coming in and changing everything, here, fix this table. I'm going to go real slow, but you have to fix this table right now. And I think that it's giving you the chance for voluntary change. So, and I think that's, I got shit in the way, but I think that this is change. This is voluntary change. Didn't I say that? Voluntary change. Can't make this up. Lastly, Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. It rules that's the 12th house, and Neptune goes, I think it's in retrograde until it's December 3rd when it's retrograde, and it's kind of responsible for like illusions, dream-like states, the astral realm, illusions, all of that. And what Neptune in retrograde is about is just kind of illusions that we've been telling ourselves. This is kind of that time, and it's very soft. Neptune is in retrograde like 40% of the year. So it's going to be that time to it's going to slowly lift the veil of that illusion. Just like, okay, you're going to have to see it, but we're just going to be real slow. It's a very nurturing kind of energy I like to feel that I feel. So yeah, that's it on the news. Thanks for sticking out with me. We're gonna pull for hanging with me. I'm gonna pull one card at the bottom. The Eon card. So this is about it's about completion, you know, or about direct action. So this is, you know, this is if you're again, if you're starting something, see it to completion. You know, either way, you know, so starting something, see it to completion. But I really feel like this is asking you to like take action. You know, it's time to put a close to this old you, and kind of, because we always have to change. You know, we're constantly changing. Because can you imagine being the same person you were, like, let's say even like high school? I know I wouldn't want to be my high school self at 30. I don't think so. Um, and I think that this is, you know, the end of, I think the end of whatever this change, this hanged man energy is coming to an end. You know, she couldn't stay down for long. And you're going to get that Empress, energy. So I hope you got something from this, Virgo. Have a great week, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.